What's going on, everyone? How you doing? This is Young Black Expats in the house. YBE coming to you live from beautiful Puerto Rico. Just want to run something by you today. It was very interesting. I looked at this blog on Facebook, and big shout out to a woman named Donna Austin, her and her husband Leviston. They're living in Costa Rica right now. We had the pleasure of meeting them, and she has a blog called Black and Retired in Costa Rica. I have that link below. Check her out. And she had this picture where it's in Brazil. It was like you can see the line between the rich and the poor, and usually in these places it's like that. You know, you'll see where the non-melanated people live in these very rich places in these different countries, living the life, but directly on the other side of the wall you'll see where the melanated people live, and it's very poor, it's very messed up, it's very it's not that good. You can tell, you can see the line. And it's kind of sad because all around the world is the same song. Just let me have a disclaimer, whereas I'm not aiming shots at all non-melanated people, because most, you know, there's non-melanated people that are very cool and very fair and very just. What I'm doing is I'm talking about the system based on my opinion and what I see so far living in these different countries, especially in the Latin, South America, Caribbean. I used to think that the country represents itself, like its people. Like if you're from that country, then you know that's who you are. You know what I mean? What I see is I see the same system, the same matrix that we have in the United States. I see whereas you have different, it's like the same program, but just different languages. The writing is different. So what I mean by that is, so you come over here in these Latin countries, they speak different, but it's basically the same. You have white Spaniards, you have brown, you have white Spaniards, non-melanated Spaniards, and you have melanated Spaniards. And it seems to me that the non-melanated Spaniards are the people who are living in the luxurious places, the towns that people want to go to, and they're living it up. They're living in good places. And the melanated people are living in like the rough places, the poor places. It's like it's not fair. It's not an equal distribution of resources and money, finances. And it's sad to say, for us, we're from America, so it super exceeds their program. And what I mean by that with the program is, just because we're from the main program, the muscle program, which I'm saying the United States, and where they taught the different parts of the world to have this program, that since we speak English, since we do make income, you know what I mean, that is greater, equal or greater to some of the non-melanated Latin countries or third world countries, then it's on a different, it's like a glitch in the matrix. So they look at you differently. You know, we heard plenty of times, like, you're just not like the rest of them, you know, because we're not local. We speak English, throws a monkey wrench in their matrix, but it's the same thing. Mostly melanated places, they tell you not to go there. Most of those places are without financial resources, and they bring in some money. Especially, you know, when we lived in Colombia, Medellin, like we lived in something. It was a new little apartment condo. It was only $400 and some a month, and we live in a place where it's kind of weird, because you got most of the melanated people in Colombia. They live on the outskirts. If you ever been there, it's like a valley, but they live all the way on and up on the hills, up on the outskirts, away from the major parts. So you hardly see melanated people living in those good condos and those good those new apartment buildings. You don't see that. So when we moved there, you know, it was like we were the only melanated people that were living in that building. And then we had another person, big shout out to Ed Harris. You know, he was our neighbor too. So at the end, it was 2 melanated people that lived in that building. And so, you know, they knew that we wasn't from there, but it was sad because those places like in Medellin, like El Poblado, those different places, is mainly white Spaniards that live there. And most of the time, the melanated people don't mess around. They don't go to those spots. We had a lady that we used to deal with, and she was speaking to one of our family. Big shout out to the dames. And she said, you know, they was talking about the melanated people, like the Afro Colombians that's there. She was like, oh no, they couldn't come to these neighborhoods that you walking through now. They would have got shot. They would have got shot at. And she said it so like nonchalant, like, but it's still no racism. And it's like, but they couldn't even go through those neighborhoods, which explained a lot to me. A lot of melanated Colombians in these well-to-do places. So speaking of that, you know, they have a place called Buenaventura in Colombia. And it's like a major port place. And they bring in so much revenue to the country. But it looks so like they never talk about that. They always talk about Medellin, Bogota, Santa Marta, you know, the different tourist places. But they never talk about Buenaventura, which is like they break in millions. I mean, a lot. They make in a lot of money for the country. But they treat that country like shit. It's poor, it's broken down, and it's horrible. You know what I mean? Places like Choco, like you go to those different places are predominantly melanated people, and they don't really get the attention that they need as far as the finances that they need to make the city, the part of Colombia, the city great. If you just understand that, to me, if you make sure you take care of those places, like Limon in Costa Rica, you know, Limon is another port town that they separated themselves from. You know, the people tell you don't go to Limon, it's drugs, it's dangerous. And the funny thing about it, man, they're some of the nicest people ever. Not to say that it isn't. I mean, when you deprive from resources and financial resources, of course. But I mean, if you just make sure you took care of that situation, you'll be in a great place. You'll be in a great place. So I just wanted to tell you that all around the world, the same song. Just be happy that you're from the US. You got a special pass because you're in a different type of program, and they respect the main program, the mainframe. So just remember that, you know what I mean? But don't expect, I mean, if you see, you're gonna see the same type of structure, the same blueprint all over. And it's sad. So just want to run that by you. Make sure you subscribe to Young Black Expats. Check us out. We got an ebook. Make sure you order the ebook. If you want to know basic questions, we have that for you. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, even FutureNet. That's the new media site, social media site that we're going to be broadcasting on. We'll have that, so you can join us on FutureNet. Until the next time, peace.
Hey family, thanks again for all of your support. Also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And don't forget to check out our new ebook, all the things that you need to know before you decide to move abroad. Peace.